Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be covering events. So events are methods that let you subscribe to an event that happens during Minecraft. For example, this could be a block broken, an entity dying, or even a world tick. And what this allows us to do is to efficiently detect when something happens and then carry out our own code when we want to. An example of this would be putting armor on our player, or even sending a message to chat when a player dies. So in this episode, I'm just going to create some examples of how we can use events in order to do what we want. So under common, let's create a new package called .events. And in here, I'm going to create a new class called player events. And it doesn't matter how many events you put in a class, I'm just going to separate different events by what they do. So this class is going to control players. In order to register this class, we need to add an @EventBusSubscriber, and here we need to set the mod ID. So let's do mod ID is equal to, and then we can reference our main class. So in my case, it's tutorialmod.modID, and then we need to set the bus. We can set bus is equal to bus.forward. Let's use Ctrl+Shift+O to import bus. And now we've registered our EventBusSubscriber. Now let's create an event. In order to subscribe to any event, we first need to add an @subscribeEvent, and then we need to make sure we create a public static void, and then we can call this whatever we want. I'm just going to call this onPlayerTick, and then in here we need to pass in the event that we subscribe to. So in my case it's going to be PlayerTickEvent event. And now that we are subscribing to this event, we can manipulate the player. So we can do player entity player is equal to event.player, and then we can do player.inventory.armorinventory.set, and then we can set the index of the armor, so 0, to something like a gold helmet. So now let's pass in a new item stack for the gold helmet. So let's do new item stack, and then we can do items.goldenhelmet. Then we can press Ctrl+Shift+O to import. And now when the player ticks, so something that runs every time the game is updated, it's going to equip us with a golden helmet. So now we can run the code and see what happens. Okay, so it looks like I selected the wrong slot when I put set 0. So now we have a gold helmet on our feet, so that's a little cursed. But as you can see, as soon as we try and take it off, it resets another one, because this happens every time the player ticks. So let's create another event. This event is going to detect when we throw an item. So let's do @subscribeEvent, public static void, onPlayerToss, and then we're going to use an item toss event, and then we can get the player. So let's do player entity player is equal to event.getPlayer, and then we're going to check if the player is standing on a block. So let's do world is equal to player.getEntityWorld. Then we can use Ctrl+Shift+O to import world, and then we're going to check for the block state is equal to world.getBlockState. Then we need to give it the position, so we're going to do player.getPosition.down, because we want to check the block the player is standing on. So let's import block state. Now we're going to check if the state has the block that we want. So let's do if state.getBlock is equal to blockinit.exampleBlock.get. So now we're going to check if our player is standing on the example block, and they throw an item. Then we're going to do player.addItemStack to inventory, and now let's just give it a new item stack of items.diamond. So now whenever the player throws an item and is standing on our custom block, they're going to get a diamond. So now let's run the game. And now if we throw a gold helmet, you can see nothing happens. But if we stand on our example block and throw the helmet, we get a diamond. So we didn't really make anything important in this tutorial, but I think it's quite a good introduction on how events work. In the next episode, I'll be covering keybinds, and I'll see you later.